Platform teams are building their own agents. Now platform engineers are becoming coders, things like assistants, IDEs. So it's super easy to create an agent, but they need to connect MCP servers to be able to access APIs.
Is GenAI gonna replace solutions architects?
The solutions architects that are using AI are going to replace those ones that are not using it. If you take advantage of that, then you can become a better solutions architect.
Is it too late to learn Kubernetes?
No, actually no, it's getting faster. I'm forgetting the kube control commands already.
When I interview people, I ask, can you tell me how Lambda scales? Candidates said, I'm just gonna use ChatGPT. What components do you think people should learn and what components they should take over by these agentic chats and whatnot?
So the fundamentals don't change, right? You have to learn the fundamentals around security, network.
How do you keep up with the GenAI developments, Carlos? Or any Kubernetes announcements? Carlos, another year, another reinvent.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking some time off for your busy reinvent schedule and chat with my viewers. First of all, why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Sure. My name is Carlos Santana. I'm an EKS Specialist Solutions Architect, and that means I work with a lot of EKS customers, helping them build solutions.
How many years have you been speaking at reInvent?
I think this is my third year, with reInvent, as a speaker.
Yeah, in addition, also, he's very humble. He's also a CNCF Ambassador. He has been speaking at KubeCon regularly. He contributed to Knative projects as well as he's a chairperson at Argo. So why don't you start there? What are some of the new announcements that I was super excited about?
Recent announcements that we did for EKS specifically was provision control planes. That allows you to have like a bigger API able to do concurrency and like big clusters, and then you can select the size that you want based on from the beginning. Like these are customers who have like very large number of clusters, and a lot of technology comes from our ultra cluster that we support up to 100,000 nodes EKS cluster. That's a huge thing. So we took those, and now we can offer in different like teacher size, like extra large, 2X and XL, and different pricing tiers. So that would be the one that we released like 2 weeks ago. And another one is that we did on this Sunday that I've been working with that team and the aspect of getting every EKS customer or end user to use GitOps. GitOps is the best practice out there. So one of the features that we release in EKS is called EKS capabilities. And within those EKS capabilities, we release 3 services. One of them is Argo CD. It's a managed Argo CD that we run the pods and you only see the CRDs, and we can talk a little bit about that. The other one is ACK. So it allows you to create ACK Kubernetes resources like from YAML or Helm, and that will create AWS resources like a VPC and S3 that your application needs, so you can build them together. And then talking about building them together, Crow, KRO, is a new open source project that we donated to the Kubernetes project to create compositions of these resources. Like you can deploy a deployment, an ingress, an S3 bucket all together. It's like a Helm chart, but it's reconciled inside the cluster. So it's a new way of doing infrastructure as code, the Kubernetes way.
Okay, so let's talk about GitOps with Argo CD a little bit more. What is the difference, Carlos? What is the difference between I installing my own Argo CD, managing myself, versus this EKS capabilities Argo CD?
Yeah, so for many years, a lot of EKS customers have been installing Argo CD in their EKS cluster through, for example, a Helm chart is the best practice, and they will need to be, the platform team will be in charge of that, not the developers, but the platform team will be in charge of like selecting the version of Argo CD, scanning the images because this is open source, so they're in charge of patching the images if they're CVEs, and then scaling it, how much CPU and memory that we're going to give to these pods and controllers to be able to support the many applications that the developers would deploy. So the platform team is always like maintaining this infrastructure kind of like controllers, like Argo CD, and then handling the single sign-on and the load balancer. So they've been successfully doing GitOps, but it requires like platform teams, like people to be in charge of maintaining it, running it, and then putting your own nodes and configuring on that. So what we did was we took that burden from the platform team, and now the EKS service, we run and deploy Argo CD. We scan those images. We set up a load balancer. We have integration with Identity Center, like a single sign-on out of the box. You click it, you enable it, and suddenly you have CRDs of Argo CD, but you won't have to manage how much CPU I'm going to give it, how much CPU I'm going to give it. Do I have to replicas to have redundancy? That's something that we take care of it, and then the platform team can just provide that service to the developers, and it works a little bit of the difference from self-managed, because there were some use cases that was kind of like tricky to get working with self-managed, and one of them was, for example, accessing clusters that are like private. So if we have customers, for example, in a regulated environment that they don't have the Kube API open, and you're doing an Argo CD hub and spoke, that one Argo CD is trying to connect to multiple clusters, those clusters have to have the public endpoint, which is secure for some, but some regulated environments, they want it private. Right. So we are able to connect to those private clusters through our backbone network and connect to it. And one cool thing is those clusters can be anywhere. It could be another VPC, and it could be another region. So you can have an Argo CD hub cluster in the US is one, and then have a target cluster maybe in London, right? And you can deploy apps from East, and that connectivity, we handle that, right? You don't have to worry about like transit gateways or like connectivity, all that connectivity to connect Argo CD. And that's something that some customers were asking us, like, how do we deal with this extra connectivity aspect of connecting Argo to those things? And even cross accounts, super easy now to do cross accounts, that this Argo CD can manage all your fleet of clusters from one Argo CD instance if you want to do hub and spoke. But also you can do Argo CD on every cluster. That's also supported.
Got it. And this is supported on both EKS Auto and standard EKS cluster?
Yes, so it's something similar like EKS Auto. In EKS Auto, we have like some controllers like application load balancer, our Carpenter, that we run ourselves. So people, the customers don't see that. They see the CRDs of Carpenter, and we run them in our control plane. So we're doing that, but now this EKS Crow, ACK, and Argo CD is supported on standard EKS and EKS Auto. So if you're not ready yet for EKS Auto, EKS Standard, a lot of customers have EKS Standard, they can just enable it and it works.
I'm curious, so where does it run in the EKS Standard? In the control plane or in the data plane?
It runs on the control plane, so you don't see any nodes, you don't have to pay for nodes, you don't have to select instances. So that's something that the platform team was doing, like for this controller, so now they don't have to worry about it.
Got it. Okay, outside of the EKS announcements, any GenAI announcements that you really like?
Yes, so one of the things that we're doing with customers is giving them the tools to do agentic, kind of like DevOps or SRE aspects. So platform teams are building their own agents. Like they're learning, like now platform engineers are becoming coders with like things like assistants, IDEs, CLIs, right? So it's super easy to create an agent, but they need to connect MCP servers to be able to access APIs, right? And one of the things that we just released in EKS was an EKS hosted MCP. We released one that was like a Python package that you have to run on your laptop, but we released one that is hosted and it's protected with IAM policies. So an organization can say, this team is allowed to access it, or maybe this CI/CD system is allowed to access the MCP server as an agent, as a DevOps, and it could do things like inspect programs or inspect resources. And today I have a workshop on showing end users how to use this EKS MCP server with something like Kiro CLI.
That's excellent. So question for you, Carlos. For someone who has been a general solutions architect and now they want to upskill on GenAI, they still want to be general SA. Like, how do they go about it? Like, what concept do you think they should learn?
So one of the things that I think I have learned from working with this new way of like agentic is my IDE. Actually, I was telling someone, like, I removed the icon of VS Code and replaced it with the icon of Kiro. And Kiro is based on a VS Code open source server, but it has this agentic aspect of spec-driven development. So one of the talks that I did here was around creating EKS infrastructure, microservices, exposing them through MCP. So I went through with Kiro and it just had a conversation around creating a specification. So we just went over like what I wanted to build, what was the demo, what I wanted to prove, and we created a document that became the specification. Then you click a button and it creates the design, and you click a button and it creates tasks. And that's a new way of working, at least as a platform. Like and it's not totally coding, like part of the project was coding, but part of it was just working, was working with Terraform and Kubernetes YAMLs and customize and checking access and AI roles. So all these things, these agentic tools can just help as a solutions architect or platform engineer to become faster at their work, right? To find problems, to debug issues like why is the VPC not connecting, or why do I have the route incorrectly? So you can just have a conversation, and since it has access to your AWS account, it can actually give you suggestions and fix your infrastructure as code, or maybe your Kubernetes YAMLs on the fly. And you work quickly. You actually work quickly, and you can work on multiple projects at the same time. I have like multiple IDEs working in different projects, and they have the separated context.
Got it. So one question I get a lot, Carlos, is GenAI gonna replace solutions architects? What's your thought on this?
I think that what everybody is saying is the solutions architects that are using AI are going to replace those ones that are not using it. Right. If you take advantage of that, then you can become a better solutions architect, right? You can ask questions and get answers faster. And these MCPs are not just with the LLMs and this AI, it's not just coming up with random answers, because we have tools and integrations with the protocol is MCP, but MCP servers, RAG, that actually get the right answer from our documentation. Right. Like we have an MCP server that is knowledge base. It searches on the what's on blogs, on what's new, our documentation. So you're getting actually answers that are correct, not coming up with like random things or hallucinations. Yeah.
Got it. How do you keep up with the GenAI developments, Carlos? Are any Kubernetes announcements?
Well, what's new? What's new in AWS, and also YouTube channels like yours and others that we watch. But I think and also LinkedIn. So if you want to follow me on LinkedIn and you also want to pick up, I also repost and post a lot of things of the latest and things around Kubernetes, CNCF, and EKS. If that's their content that you're looking to learn.
Got it. Carlos, is it too late to learn Kubernetes?
No, actually, no. It's getting faster. Actually, I'm forgetting the kube control commands already because I use the Kiro CLI, and I just tell them like, hey, check my deployments, or configure the ingress, or why the ingress. So it actually checks the Kubernetes events, and it knows all these aspects of it. So I'm starting to forget about the lower end, and I concentrate more on the business logic, right? On like, what is the architecture that I want to build, like observability and those aspects versus the small things around Kubernetes. But that's the fastest way to learn Kubernetes now that you have someone to like, not someone, but a thing that you can just ask questions to it.
Right. So on that note, what's the level of abstraction, Carlos? So let's say in the interview, when I interview people, literally, this is a real story. I ask, can you tell me how Lambda scales, right? And the candidate said, I'm just going to use ChatGPT, right? Like, so what components do you think people should learn, and what components they should take over by this agentic chats and whatnot?
Yeah, so the fundamentals don't change, right? You have to learn the fundamentals around security, network. It may be there's something new that got released, and you just want to get up to speed of like that, how that new thing, because I don't know everything, right? These things are being released this week, and I'm going to go back to my office and ask like, what is the latest things I got done? But still the fundamentals are still there. You have to do your due diligence of like taking courses, certifications, if you're a school, right? Networking, computer science, security, around DevOps and best practices, that still is there. Cost optimization is an area where a lot of people get good jobs, right? As cost optimization and performance is one of the hot topics that you should learn. And agentic AI, you cannot just ask like, how do I make my app cheaper, right? Or faster? It will give you an answer, but you need to verify that that's the correct answer.
Right. Love it. Last question, Carlos. How can people find you?
Usually in LinkedIn, you can find me. If you search for Carlos Santana, you may get the guitar play, but in LinkedIn, you're going to get me. So you do Carlos Santana AWS, and Raj will leave the link here in the interview. But usually that's where I hang out. Blue Sky, I use a little bit, but I'm mostly LinkedIn. People reach me on LinkedIn is the easiest way.
Excellent. Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah, thank you, Raj, for being here.
Of course.